My name is John Green. I'm a current councilman now, sort of my fourth term, or towards the end of my fourth term. I've lived in Portland for roughly 46 years. I have a wife of 30 years, and two kids, a son and a daughter, 29 and 27, and about a year and a half ago, a granddaughter who basically is the light of my life. Why I'm running for election and what's important to me. Really, the main reason why I live here, probably the main reason why you live here, is family values. Portland is known for a family-oriented, family-value town. Our police services, the safety of our police services, our fire department, they're just part of the reason why we're here. I'm getting all tongue-tied here. Okay. We're faced with some challenges coming up in the near future. Industry's here, and we're rapidly changing. Portland is changing. We've got an opportunity in front of us to embrace the change and let the change pass us by and let the other cities around us happen. Bottom line, what we want to be is that city who doesn't jump quickly on change, make changes based off of instinct for the quick buck, but make changes for long-term sustainability of Portland and the family values that we love and share here in Portland. Bottom line is we need to maintain our infrastructure, and we want to be here. What we've done to protect what's coming to town and industry coming to town is what we need to look forward to is single government. We need to provide long-term investment in town and sustainability of the town through single-family homes where we get a return on our investment, where we recently annexed 1,800 acres of land that will provide about 4,400 spaces. Don't know if you know this, but we were down to less than 400 lots in Portland before we actually annexed that land. Another thing that we have done recently is we continue to work on our business relationships to help change the focus of Portland as being a business-friendly town versus a business-unfriendly town to make people want to be here. We've got an opportunity to bring people like retail development, restaurants, industry support, education support to Portland, and we need to capitalize on that. The way we capitalize on that is to be in front of it, being proactive with our thoughts and processes to get there. What we've done for short-term sustainability to provide the industry support is approved 2 local hotels recently here in Portland. We helped some of the contractors come into town or help find a place for them to stay. We recently approved a PUD, 260 units, multifamily units. And we last night approved another one of 144 units. Looks like I'm getting close. Bottom line is you are the customers of Portland and the city of Portland. The most important thing that we can provide to you as councilmen, as well as the city staff, is support and make sure that you're number one in our decisions going forward. I plan to make sure that the decisions I make will have that in our best interest. Thank you.
I'm a candidate for Portland City Council. I've been a homeowner in Portland for over 30 years. My wife, Dana, is a school teacher at GPISD at WCNS Elementary. We have 3 grown children, 3 grandchildren. 4 out of 6 of those live here in Portland. I'm an architect, a business owner, and an employer. And I've been deeply involved in public service and professional service throughout my career. Over the years, I've served on numerous private, public, and nonprofit boards and commissions. For over 30 years, I've managed budgets, made weekly payrolls for up to 44 people, and managed multi-year public building programs totaling almost $1 billion. I work with policymakers and local governments daily. My professional background has given me a great deal of real-world experience in navigating the many hurdles of government regulation. City government can and should be a partner in promoting growth and investment. It should not just be a hurdle that one must navigate in order to invest and develop property within one's community. The partnerships require the right policies and the right attitudes. Last night, city staff reported to council that the cost of permits for the average single-family home in Portland, Texas, 2,500 square feet currently is $3,500. It troubles me that this was presented as though we should be proud of this number instead of something we should be working to reduce. It should not be news to anyone that government is a growth industry. Added government regulation generally results in added costs, both in terms of fees and charges and in the resulting downstream cost. Local control should not mean total control. You cannot regulate your way into prosperity any more than you can tax your way into prosperity. By and large, I do not see our new developments, our shops, our restaurants, our schools and hotels as a blight on our community. Yet this is where we seem to put the greatest level of regulation. Building construction has long been one of the most heavily regulated areas of government. We don't need to be increasing the complexity, the difficulty, and ultimately the cost within our community. I believe strongly in government transparency and accountability. We can be more transparent and responsive by engaging a broader cross-section of leaders in our community in some major decisions. I would like to see the business community play a larger, more comprehensive role in determining how to budget our hotel motel tax, for instance. We currently have 2 new hotels coming online. The revenue is going to increase, and I believe that the businesses that help generate that revenue should play a larger role in determining how the city spends that money. Part of those funds should go truly to promoting Portland, not just repair and infrastructure projects. I believe that there's an important distinction between promoting Portland business and promoting the city of Portland. They're not the same. City government is not the best entity for promoting our visitor industry and our community. In the last year, our city raised the effective tax rate by approximately 9%, increased water rates and our sewer rates. And this all happened at a time when we were receiving increased sales tax revenue. Now, I understand there were some solid reasons for doing that. But as our city grows, I believe we must be deliberate and disciplined about not growing government at a rate faster than our prospective growth. Otherwise, our local taxpayers will continue to see the cost of government increase. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cathy Skurow, and it has been an honor and a privilege to represent you on the Portland City Council for the past 12 years. And it seems like only yesterday that I stood before you in 2003 giving my very first speech as a city council hopeful. You know, there's a widely accepted adage that the older you get, the faster time seems to go. But there's the parallel adage that time flies when you're having fun. I like to think that time has flown by, not because I'm getting older, but because I'm having fun as I enjoy representing you. Because I've only been before you 3 times in the past 12 years, first in 2003, then again in 2007 and 2009, I thought it would be fitting to review some of my platforms and let you decide for yourself where we were then and where we are today. In 2003, I spoke to you about the impending closure of Naval Station Ingleside. Although the federal government ultimately decided to close Naval Station Ingleside, I'm proud that we weathered the storm. As a member of the San Patricio Economic Development Corporation, we subsequently worked long and hard hours to bring a new source of revenue to San Patricio County, the Tangent Pipe Company. And that, I believe, planted the seed for the others to follow. Although I turned out of office in 2013 as a San Pat EDC board member, my ear is still to the ground when it comes to sustainable economic development. In 2003, I also spoke to you about the largest demographic group living in Portland, our kids, and our need to enhance youth programming. Today, I think we all agree that our Parks and Recreation delight us with award-winning, creative, and inspiring youth and community programming. In 2003, I also talked about fiscal responsibility and accountability. If you haven't already had a chance to look at the financial section on our city's website, I would encourage you to do so. You may be surprised how much information is now available to you, right down to the city's check register. I'm proud of this level of commitment to financial transparency, and if re-elected, I will continue to support this endeavor. In 2007, I talked about the economic and community development our city experienced in the previous 5 years, and how we had attracted businesses without having to grant a single tax abatement. Today, it's hard to remember a time when we couldn't shop 24/7 at Walmart, or dine at our favorite restaurants, or even go to a movie. In 2007, I also talked about the promise of significant economic development for our city and the surrounding area, and that we must remain diligent to ensure that we maximize the positive economic impacts and minimize or curtail the negative impacts. After years of thoughtful deliberation and timing, the City Council recently annexed approximately 1,800 acres for that very reason, to preserve our growth corridor for future residential homes and prevent potential harmful encroachment onto our city. In 2009, I informed you that between 2003 and 2008, commercial developers, corporate and small businesses, and home builders contributed approximately $300 million to our tax base. And since that time, we've added an additional $150 million. I also explained that we were facing challenges with the growing demands on our aging infrastructure. Today, we have now completed infrastructure projects totaling $12.8 million at or under budget, which will keep us in front of our anticipated growth. If re-elected, I will continue to use my experience as a Texas professional engineer to plan for and implement additional infrastructure needs as our city continues to grow. As your representative to City Council, my job is to listen to your views and concerns, study the issues, and determine the most appropriate decision when it comes to the council vote. I take my job as your representative very seriously. I've enjoyed representing you, and I ask that you re-elect me to Portland City Council.
I graduated from high school here in 1986. Went to Baylor, got a finance degree from Baylor Business School in 90. Married my college sweetheart, and we came back here in 91. She taught at East Cliff Elementary for a couple of years, and then in 93, we opened up Taggart Motor Company. We've grown over the years. We started on a little Subway building, or what's now Subway in front of Frost Bank, built the facility down the street several years later, and then expanded a couple times. We added a second location in Corpus about 5 years ago. I also serve as the president and partner in J. Carroll Weaver, is a road and bridge contractor company over in Sinton. I do have some board experience. A few things. I served on the Better Business Bureau board for about 10 years, the Better Business Bureau of Corpus Christi. Served on the Texas State Aquarium board for about 14 years, recently rotated off of that. I currently serve as an advisory director to Frost Bank, serve on committee for Portland Young Life, and also serve as an elder and treasurer for Grace Point Church. I had a lot of people ask, why are you running? I've second guessed that a few times, but it's funny the questions you get, what's your motivation, what are you mad about? I've heard that several times. And I'll just say I don't have an axe to grind. I don't have an agenda. I'm not mad about anything. Quite frankly, I have a lot of respect for city management and a lot of respect for the current board. What I do have is a deep appreciation for this community. And it's through that communication, or through that appreciation, that I want to serve. I went to high school here. I've raised my family here. This community's been very good to our business. Been very loyal to it. We worship here. We've helped build great churches here. Blair and I plan to retire here. This community is as much a part of our family as we're a part of the community. There's a sense of pride in this community, a sense of just a sense of community in Portland that was here when I was in high school. It's still here now. We see it in the volunteer base of our youth programs. We see it, this past weekend at Wind Festival. I don't know how you pulled it off. I mean, we're 3 foot underwater at noon, and we're having a concert at 6 o'clock. It's just neat to see, and I think continuing that as we grow can be challenging. I think what we will see, the growth that we will experience over the next 3 to 5 years, and the decisions that will be made in the next 3 to 5 years will dictate the future of this community over the next 3 to 5 decades. And so we are going to grow. The question is how are we going to grow, and can we maintain our identity? a community that we all love and respect? Can we maintain the quality, safe neighborhoods that some of us grew up in, some of us have moved into, the low crime rates, the sense of community pride as we grow? Those are the questions that I want to help answer, and that's why I'm running. Y'all don't forget to vote. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
I want to thank the Lions Club for hosting the 2015 City Council Candidate Forum this evening. I was appointed to City Council in August of 2010 to fill the seat vacated by Councilman Huddleston. Having served you for 5 years, I have run unopposed in the 2 election cycles that followed my selection. I've been a resident of Portland for 26 years, a sole proprietor, Texas registered architect, and my studio based here in Portland for the past 18 years. My firm primarily designs ecclesiastical and church-related projects, as well as a limited number of high-end custom residences and small commercial works across South Texas. Prior to City Council, I was a member of the City's Zoning Board of Appeals from 2003 to 2006, and the Planning and Zoning Commission from 2006 to 2010. After joining Council, I served as Mayor Pro Tem from 2012 to 2013. In the 5 years that I've been on Council, we've seen Portland transform and grow with new business, new homes, and newly annexed property. The growth is largely driven by expanding industry in La Quinta Port Terminal and its immediate surrounding industrial areas. It's important that we understand and respect the growth opportunities before us, encouraging projects that provide long-term economic stability for our community. Recognizing the pending growth, Council formally annexed 1,845 acres of land to the west of Portland in December of 2014. Expansion of our city limit was not about increasing the tax base, but rather providing ample growth capability in a manner that protects the quality of life and financial investments of existing property owners, as well as that of future development through planning and zoning. Discussions regarding new developments in this area are currently underway. Adopted by unanimous council vote, the 2014 tax rate increased to 60 cents per $100 of evaluation. This rate remains lower than 6 of our 7 immediate surrounding cities. And if one considers a monthly street user fee attached to your water bill a tax, then the City of Portland tax rate is the lowest in the area for most residents. Our tax increase was necessary to provide the services and quality of life assets that you as citizens continue to indicate are important. These include appropriate staffing and equipping of our police, fire, and ambulance services, a dedicated code enforcement officer, and the ongoing maintenance and improvement of our water, sewer, and street infrastructure. Another area where we have made significant strides is our ability to interact with new business inquiries, developers, and builders who are interested in Portland. Use of a third-party provider for permits, plan review, and inspection services has been a successful strategy. It has allowed our staff to have closer interaction with interested parties while providing consistency and timeliness within the permitting, plan review, and field inspection process. Since implementation, we have heard from both large and small-scale developers that our process is much improved and now one of the best in the area. Does that mean it's perfect? Likely not. But in my opinion, it does mean that we have successfully addressed an area where the city previously was considered to be business unfriendly. As a council member, I have listened to your dreams, observations, and at times frustration regarding your city. The challenge of integrating the different views of individuals and organizations into a solution that is good for the community as a whole is not unlike the professional work I'm trained to do on a daily basis. Be it the dreams of a building committee for a church, a couple building a new home, understanding the needs and requirements of the city entity, or the vision of the residents, the end result may be a financially responsible, integrated, cohesive whole.